A warm welcome to you all. My name is Rohini, and today, as part of Raagmala featuring sounds, we're going to be in conversation with famed Indian musicians Gino Banks and Ojas Adhiya. This session today is a part of a series being hosted by the CSMDS under the aegis of the Museum on Wheels Outreach Initiative, supported by City India. The Museum on Wheels is currently hosting an exhibition, In Tune, The Journey from Sound to Music. And our session with Gino and Ojas will have us delving deeper into this fascinating subject. Born and brought up in Mumbai, Gino has been fooling around with the drums since he was 8 years old and took it up seriously at the age of 15. He is the son of Louis Banks, India's legendary jazz pianist and composer. Working on his own music as a composer, as well as collaborating with extremely talented musicians like Sheldon De Silva, Sangeet Haldipur, Rhythm Shaw, Kush Upadhyay, Mohini De, Satyajit Talwarkar, Ojas Adhiya, Giridhar Gattam Udupa, and many more. An in-demand session artist, he's also a producer, arranger, and runs his own studio production called Double Shift Productions. He's also had the honor and privilege of playing a few tracks on the Miles from India album produced by Bob Belden. The album was nominated for a 2009 Grammy in the Contemporary Jazz category with Times Square Records in New York, a fusion of great Indian classical musicians and Miles Davis alumni musicians. Let's listen in to a little bit from Gino. Well, that was absolutely spectacular. Let me introduce you to our next musician for today. Ojas Adhiya is a prominent name in the field of Indian classical music. His father, Dr. Yogesh Adhiya, spotted his child's keen interest in percussion at the tender age of 2, and Padma Shri Kalyanji of Kalyanji Anandji recognized the boy's talent. At the age of 5, Ojas was sent through Sri Kalyanji Bhai to one of his close family friends, Sri Mridangrajji, for Ojas to learn traditional niceties of tabla playing. He was fortunate to travel and perform in the Little Wonders programs of Sri Kalyanji Anandji's Kalaveer Academy for almost 500 stage shows globally. Ojas's mission is to be second to none in the field of Indian classical and light music. Let's listen in to a little bit from Ojas now. Ojas, Gino, thank you so much for joining me and welcome to Raagmala.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Rohini. Thank you for having us. We're happy to be here.
Thank you. Gino, I'm going to start with you. I remember you toured Australia and China when you were just 9 years old as part of your father's Indo-jazz fusion band, Sangam. You were playing percussion, and I'm just wondering what it does to a child of 9 to, grow up with that kind of exposure. What were the pros? What were the cons? What do you remember?
Well, there were no cons for sure. I only remember pros, and it basically set me up for the rest of my life, actually. And it was a very natural thing for me to do because I was around music my whole life, and I knew the songs that the band were playing because I had heard right from the time, I don't even remember, but like with Ranjit Baro, Carl Peters, Bras Gonzalez, all playing that music. So it was already embedded in my mind and in my heart, So, I mean, I could play the music, and then probably my dad thought, okay, this guy knows the music. It'll be fun to take the kid on tour and put him on stage. And Ramamani's son, Karthik Mani, was also there, and he was like 2 years older than me. So we had these two kids doing a jugalbandi on stage with this heavy jazz fusion music. So, yeah, it was great. It set me up for the rest of my life.
Set you up for the rest of your life. Ojas, I know this for a fact that you give a lot of, credit to your parents. Unfortunately, I also know that you lost your father at a very young age. But I want to take you back to that time and ask you, what were those formative experiences like that have shaped your place today in the field of music?
Yeah, Rohini. My father spotted this interest in me, and I was 4 years old when my father took me to Shri Kalyanji Bhai, Anandji Bhai, the music directors, and he left everything. We came to Bombay way back in '93, and I have seen my father doing so much for me and leaving everything, the whole family behind, and shifting to Bombay just for my future. And where you get along with such great maestros in Bombay like Kalyanji uncle, who guided me a lot. I have learned so much from him. And then his very bosom friend, Shri Bridangraji, from whom I started my initial training when I was just 5 years old.
Yeah.
And when you have such companies and when you learn so many things from these great masters, you feel that, okay, you want to do more and you want to focus more in tabla playing or in music. That makes a life better. And I guess family support and encouragement is so important for a musician.
That's so true and so beautifully said. I've seen the two of you, of course, have a riot on stage every time you guys are together. But I want to take this to Gino at this point. Gino, do you have your first memory of Ojas? Where did you guys meet? Do you remember?
That's a great question. I don't remember exactly where we first met, but we kept...
I remember though.
Oh, then you tell me.
Go ahead.
Just remind me.
So I had heard a lot about Gino Bhai. The first we met was at the concert at Shanmukhanand, where Louis uncle, Gino's father, Sivamani ji and Shankar Mahadevan ji and Sridhar Parthasarthi ji, they were playing this concert called The Silk.
Yes.
So okay. I was keen in watching the concert. I went there and I met Gino Bhai over there first time. And I was like, I really wanted to, I wished playing with him someday. And fortunately it happened. And I guess our first concert was in Bombay with Uncle Louis. That's what I remember.
Was it the Kathak show?
It was a Kathak show.
Correct.
And that was our my first collaboration with you, and of course, Louis Uncle.
This is, I think, so the reason I asked both of you this is, traditionally, of course, you're both tutored in different, genres of music, right? But I think that there is a certain versatility that allows you to now play with each other. And I'm going to take this to Gino first. Tell me, what have you learned about collaborating with Indian classical musicians, and how has that helped you widen your sort of scope of, just playing, or the abilities? Tell us.
Oh, it's incredible because I play an instrument that is primarily a Western instrument, the drum set, which was born in the United States, but it's an amalgam. The instrument is an amalgamation of rhythm from all over the world.
Correct.
And for me to be born in India and having the Indian rich tradition of music, and especially the very sophisticated system of rhythm, it's like the best of both worlds, actually, that I get to play the drum set, which I think is an awesome instrument, and apply what I learned from maestros like Ojas and a lot of the people who really inspire me and teach me so much whenever I play with them. So I feel that the Indian system of music added to my playing gives me an edge over people from the rest of the world. And I think that's very important for Indian Western musicians to think about, to really imbibe and use the knowledge of Indian music on their instruments, even if it's a guitar, piano, bass, or whatever.
Wonderful. Have you ever attempted to play the tabla yet?
I tried tabla, I tried ghatam, I tried kanjira.
Oh, wonderful.
Selva Ganesh
I would like to
showed
add
me some kanjira.
Yeah.
Yes,
I would like to add one more thing to this. Since Gino Bhai has learned a lot of Carnatic stuff as well. So he has got that mastery over Carnatic music. And I get to learn so much from him as well. So it's really an interesting thing for us to share our music, me being from a North Indian style of music, and he being from a Western classical to Carnatic again, and jazz. So you learn so much.
Yes.
You share so much of music.
And especially because you said that you had the privilege of, having, Kalyanji Bhai, Anandji Bhai, take you under their wing, and their music, I mean, a lot of people say that, oh, it's too popular, it's Bollywood. But the sort of mastery that they had, not just over Indian, surtal, but also the mastery over the trumpets or the usage of Western.
Yeah, they had mastery over different genres of music. As I said, since I was, brought up in their zone, and I was exposed to listening to ghazals of Ustad Mehdi Hasan Khan Sahab, Ghulam Ali ji, and Madhurani ji, and so many other great stalwarts of course, classical as well as ghazals. So it really helped me to play in ghazals, which is again a different genre. Then when it comes to Indian traditional classical, anyways, since childhood, I started learning from my guru, Mridang Raji. He also helped me to understand the basic niceties of how to accompany an Indian classical musician, whether it is a vocal or an instrumentalist, or of course, keeping aesthetic and traditional sense in mind. So,
I have a question for you, Ojas, that traditionally the tabla is always looked at as an accompanying, musical sort of accompaniment. But I think that broke with Woodstock, or
long time
back. So this is 40 years ago when suddenly the tabla came to the fore. And I just think that, music without lyrics is its own sort of like appreciative audience now. And I think that finally audiences have understood that music without lyrics is also music. Do you agree with me on this? And now there is a lot more love for this genre of music.
Absolutely. It is. I have seen, in fact, me and Gino Bhai, we have noticed that there are so many youngsters coming up, taking lessons, coming for the shows and experiencing the music. So, which is a good thing, and this way it's spreading all over the world.
Fantastic. because you told me about youngsters coming to you, this is a question for you. You're deeply involved with music education. So you're one of the most in-demand drum set and rhythm educators in the country. You and your wife, Eden, started Avish Music, a company dedicated to music and education. Of course, tell us a little bit more about this. Does it involve mentoring young musicians?
It eventually leads to that, yes. But the idea for Avish was I've been teaching since I was 18 years old, actually. So I've spent quite a while in education, and it's helped me become a better musician. And I enjoy showing people things that they do not know so that they can move forward and excel.
Correct.
The beauty about it is you see this thing on our finger, it's individual, right? It cannot be copied.
Correct.
So when each of us
Right.
play music, it's us, it's our individuality. So, I like to kind of spread that awareness and help people become the best that they can be. And I was doing it just by myself, but then I thought, okay, I need to kind of expand a little bit. And Eden suggested, why don't we kind of start something that can reach out to more people? And under Avish Music, we have Algorithm Drums, which handles the drumming and the rhythm education. Nova School of Music that handles guitar and keyboards. And we have The Feet, which is concentrated on dance right now.
Wow, amazing.
Oh, fantastic. There's quite a range that they can come to you for right now, right?
Yeah, and I feel that a lot of people get misled, especially in the foundational aspect of music learning. A lot of people waste a lot of time learning things that are kind of unnecessary. And from us who are professionals, we know in the real world what is exactly going to be used when you perform and when you record or compose music. So weed out all the extras, just stick with the essentials, the basics, the fundamentals, and that'll enhance your musical ability.
Amazing.
Fantastic. Yeah, I really like this question. I was looking forward to asking both of you this. So here it is. How is the journey for a percussion musician different, as compared to a melody instrumentalist or a vocalist? Or is it not different at all? So Ojas, I'm going to ask you this first, and then we'll take it to Gino.
Yeah, it's completely different. For an instrumentalist, first of all, a small example I would like to give, like supposing today if I get a chance again to play with Gino Bhai for a concert, and when we meet today, we will talk about everything else than music. And that's and that makes us that connection makes us stronger, that bond makes us so stronger, which reflects in our music.
Correct.
Same way today, if I'm playing with Ustad Rashid Khan Saab, and I have to understand his basic temperament first, as into what his mindset is, and how do I have to present my performance with him. Or when it comes to instrumentalist, so then when it comes to instrumentalist, it's like a give and take. It's like a proper conversation between the tabla and the instrumentalist. So it's totally different, and it depends on every individual artist.
Well, I'm assuming that percussion players enjoy the company of percussion players the most on stage.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a common language that both of you are speaking. Gino, tell me, how has it been for you? Do you see these as different at all?
Yeah, there's a different temperament to the instrument that makes it different from the others. The first thing is that percussionists primarily accompany artists.
Correct.
With the music, with the songs, with their solos. I mean, Ojas is a phenomenal soloist, but I think why he's so good is because he's a very good accompanist. And all the master musicians, especially percussionists who are legends, are very good accompanists. So we and then also we go out, we perform solo shows. We can entertain a crowd with just drums and tabla for like an hour to 2 hours.
Of course.
So we kind of do the whole spectrum. And so we see it from both sides. We see it from at the back and we see it from the front. So our perspective is very different from other artists in the band.
You know, before, of course, I wrap this up, I must acknowledge both your t-shirts because they're both so cool. One is the London Underground and yours is the tabla set, which I absolutely love.
Thank you.
But before we go, I must ask you to leave our audience with a couple of words from each of you. I'm going to start with you, Ojas. What would you like audiences to do more of when it comes to your music or finding you or when you're at a concert? What is it that you want to leave them with?
I just want to leave them with a nice, soulful music that they can think of every now and then.
Correct.
and you know, as I always say, that music has a power to heal the world. So it may be Indian classical music or jazz or blues or any genres of music. Music has that tremendous power to spread love and affection. So that's all.
Very, very Mother Teresa like answer. I really loved it. What would you like to tell, audiences who seek you out or who come to see you or perhaps haven't seen you yet?
Well, I would like to leave people with a positive attitude. I want to feed positivity to everybody.
Correct.
And also add maybe a little inspiration and an enjoyment aspect to it, and underneath the enjoyment, I want to educate as well. So it's kind of inform people about there are many other things in life than just this,
Right.
And right now we cannot go out and perform, so you cannot come see us play, but you can still follow us on our socials and catch our videos and collaborations and get something from it, because we are doing this honestly, we are working hard, and we are playing for people to listen to and to watch. So I hope people get inspired and stay positive with that.
Well, thank you. That's a great message.
Absolutely.
Thank you, both of you, for speaking to me, and it's always a pleasure to be in your audience. You're the most fun I've had as an audience, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Rohini.
Thank you for having us, Rohini. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was such a wonderful conversation. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode, but don't go anywhere because we have a spellbinding collaborative performance by Gino and Ojas.